A love story in Pakistan. Chapter 1. This is a love story. It's about a boy and a girl. They met at school for the first time 20 years ago in Pakistan. Sofina was walking to school. Rahel was walking behind her. Sofina accidentally dropped her homework. Rahel saw it drop, and he picked it up. He looked at the paper. He saw that it was important. It was the girl's homework. Rahel saw that her name was Sofina. Rahel walked quickly to catch up with the girl. He said, "Excuse me." Sofina stopped walking and turned around. Rahel gave the paper to Sofina. Sofina looked up. Rahel and Sofina's eyes met for a moment. Rahel's heart beat faster, and his hands became sweaty. Rahel had fallen in love. Sofina saw the dark brown colour of Rahel's eyes. She saw his thick eyelashes, and she saw kindness and empathy in the boy's eyes. Sofina had also fallen in love. Sofina couldn't ask him his name because boys and girls are not allowed to talk to each other in Pakistan. They both quickly walked into the school. Chapter 2. Rahel went to his maths class. He sat down quietly. His friend said, "Hello, how are you?" Rahel didn't answer. He was thinking. He was thinking about the girl he had just met. Rahel's friends were worried. They said, "Rahel, what happened to you? Did something bad happen?" Rahel slowly turned his head and smiled. "No, I just met the most beautiful girl in the world." Sofina went to her English class. Her friends said hello, and she greeted them. Sofina didn't tell anybody in her class about the boy. But she thought about him. At home, Rahel tried to be normal. But his sister Rabina knew that something was wrong. At her home, Sofina was also very quiet. Finally, one day, during playtime, Sofina asked her best friend, Amron, to come with her to a quiet place. Sofina told Amron about the boy and about the dropped homework. And Sofina told her best friend about her feelings. Amron thought this was very exciting. She lived next door to Rahel. Chapter 3. For the next 3 months, Rahel and Sofina did not speak, but every morning Rahel followed Sofina to school. He didn't walk close to her. He stayed about 15 metres behind her. Sofina saw him every morning, and every morning she gave him a little secret smile. She had to be very careful and not let people see. He couldn't smile at her, and she couldn't smile at him. He couldn't talk to her, and she couldn't talk to him. It was forbidden. In Pakistan, in Pathan culture, people gossip if they see a boy talk to a girl. The people will think the boy and the girl are very bad people. Rahel knew that he was a good person, and Sofina also knew that she was a good person. But they were very careful because they didn't want to cause problems for their families. Every time Rahel saw Sofina, his feelings for her got stronger. Finally, he felt he had to do something. So, Rahel wrote a letter to Sofina. Chapter 4. One night, at about midnight, Rahel got out of bed. His 2 brothers were asleep. Rahel sat at a desk in the bedroom and got a pen and a piece of paper. He sat and thought for a few moments. Then he started to write. Dear Sofina, when I saw your face, your beautiful eyes, and your pink lips, I forgot everything. I can only think about you. You live in my heart. I just want to tell you how I feel. If you have the same feelings about me, please write a letter to me. Rahel. Chapter 5. Rahel was thinking a lot. Sofina's best friend, Ambron, was Rahel's neighbour. She lived next door. Rahel made a plan. Ambron's family often visited Rahel's family on Sundays. He asked his sister if she would take Ambron into the garden next Sunday. Rabina asked why. Rahel didn't tell her. He was too frightened. Give Ambron this letter. Tell her to give it to Sofina, he said. Give it to her in the garden. It was very dangerous. If Ambron's mother found the letter, she would beat Ambron. Ambron would not be allowed to go to school again. Sofina would also have problems because her name was on the letter. Her problems would be worse than Ambron's. Sofina's parents would force her to marry anyone. It was also dangerous for Rahel. Rahel would also be beaten. Sofina's brothers would cause many problems for Rahel. Ambron's, Sofina's, and Rahel's lives would be ruined if anyone found the letter. If the letter was found, 3 families would be embarrassed and disgraced. This was a big responsibility for Rahel. He was in love, but he was also very scared. Chapter 6. Rahel waited. He waited 3 days. He knew Ambron's family would visit on Sunday. On Sunday, in the middle of the afternoon, Rahel heard someone knock at the door. Rahel's heart started pounding. Rahel's hands were shaking. Rahel's small brother opened the door. Ambron, her parents, and her little brother were standing at the door. Ambron's little brother often came to play with Rahel's young brother. Rahel waited in his bedroom. He was nervous. Rahel's sister would take Ambron into the yard. He hoped that Sofina would write a letter too, and maybe later Ambron would bring the letter and give it to Rabina in the yard. This was Rahel's plan. Chapter 7. Rabina asked Ambron to come into the garden. Ambron thought it was a bit strange. The 2 little boys followed them. Then Rabina asked Ambron to come into her bedroom. The boys were not allowed in there. Ambron wondered about Rabina's strange behaviour. Rabina did not know what was in the letter. She was a bit worried, but she was also very excited. Rabina showed the envelope to Ambron. "What's that?" asked Ambron. Rabina said, "Please give this letter to Sofina. Rahel wrote it. Please keep it secret. Do not share this secret with anybody. We will all be in trouble if anybody sees the letter." Chapter 8. At first Ambron did not want to take the letter. Ambron felt very frightened. Rabina said, "Please take it. My brother wants you to give it to Sofina." "What's the letter about? What did Rahel write about?" asked Ambron. I don't know, said Robina. Rahel didn't tell me. Robina said, Do you think it's a love letter? Do you think my brother's in love with Sofina? Shh, said Amron, don't talk too loud. Please, hide the letter now, said Robina. I'll put it here. I'll hide it under my hijab, said Ambron. The girls looked at the envelope. The letter was inside. The envelope had one word written on it. Sofina. The two girls sniffed the letter. It smelled like roses. Chapter 9. Ambron took the letter home with her. She hid it in a jar in her bedroom. The next day, on Monday, she went to school. She told Sofina that she wanted to talk to her. She said that it was personal. They met at playtime. I have a surprise for you, Sofina, said Ambron. Then Ambron asked, What do you think about Rahel? Sofina was surprised. She was shy. She didn't say anything. Ambron had the letter in her hand, but it was hidden under her sleeve. Ambron took Sofina's hand. She put the letter into Sofina's hand. Sofina nearly cried. She ran to the school bathroom. First, she smelled the letter, and then she opened it and read Rahel's words. School seemed to be longer that day. It was many hours before Sofina could go home. After school, Sofina rushed home. She helped her mother with the housework and ate dinner with her family. She took the letter with her when she went to bed. She didn't sleep. She waited until her sisters were asleep. Then she got up and looked for some nice paper. Chapter 10. Sofina found some pretty pink paper and a dark blue pen. She started to write a letter. Dear Rahel, thank you for your letter. I was so happy to get it. I also think about you. I'm very happy that you remember me. I remember your handsome face and that you were very kind to me. I have the same feelings for you. Sofina. The next day, Sofina felt very nervous. She gave her letter to Ambron. Ambron gave it to Robina. Robina gave the letter to Rahel. Rahel was ecstatic. For the next 2 years, they wrote letters to each other. Their letters became more and more romantic. No one else knew about their romance except Ambron and Robina. Finally, Rahel told his mother. He told her that he loved a girl and her name was Sofina. He said he wanted to marry her. Chapter 11. Rahel told his mother everything. He told her about the first time he and Sofina met, about the letters, and about how much they loved each other. Rahel told his mother that he wanted to marry Sofina. He said that if he didn't marry Sofina, he could not marry anyone. His mother was alarmed. It was dangerous for unmarried people to be in love. Rahel's mother waited for 1 week. She waited until Rahel's father was in a good mood. Then she told him Rahel's news. He was very angry. He was very upset. Both parents talked to Rahel. They thought it was a bad decision, a very bad decision. In Pathan culture, people don't approve of love marriages. They believe love marriages always end in divorce. Patan people should never divorce because it is too shameful. Finally, Rahel convinced his mother to approve of the marriage. Rahel's mother then talked to Rahel's father. It took a long time. Finally, Rahel's mother convinced Rahel's father to approve also. The whole family went to Sofina's house. But Rahel didn't go. He stayed home. He felt very nervous because he didn't know what Sofina's parents would say. Sofina's parents said yes. But first Rahel must get a higher education. He must go to university and then get a good job. Rahel was very, very happy and excited. The next year he went to university in Islamabad. The war in Islamabad got worse. Parachinar people could not move around the city. If the Taliban found Parachinar people, they killed them. One day he was going to the university. He got off the bus, and then someone started bombing them. He ran as fast as he could. He was very scared. Rahel was able to finish one diploma, but he couldn't finish the other two he was studying. He had to leave Islamabad and university because it was too dangerous. He went back to his village. Rahel was told some very bad news. Sofina was no longer able to marry him. Rahel couldn't believe the news. Sofina's parents were very greedy. While Rahel was studying in Islamabad, another man went to Sofina's parents' house. The other man wanted to marry Sofina. Sofina's parents wanted the man's money. There was a war. Money was very helpful. They said yes. Rahel was very sad and heartbroken. Sofina's brothers chased him and they beat him up many times. Sofina still lives in Pakistan, but Rahel now lives in another country. They live thousands of kilometres apart. However, they still talk to each other. Rahel rings Sofina every day. They are still in love. However, it is very difficult for them. Sofina already has one child with her new husband. The end.